This is a Tecmec machine. It allows us to tint clear bases of various paint products using a universal colorant system developed by HMG Paints. It does this by accurately dispensing the colorants using the machine's driver software and our own formulation software, ColorMatch 2004. This short video will give you a quick tutorial on using this machine properly, as well as maintaining and refilling it. The first important step in using the machine is turning the machine on. We must first ensure there is a power supply to the machine, then push the button on the front of the tower to switch it on. Our next step is to load the driver software. We can do this by clicking the cog on the desktop. Now the driver will load and we will be presented with a set of maintenance instructions and a confirmation box. Click the box which says confirm to get the driver started. Ensure volumetric dispensing is selected, then click on the cog which says service to allow us to access various features the machine has in order to ensure perfect accuracy of colorant dispense. Now we have to make sure the canisters are filled with colorants. If we select the level tab, we can see a list of all the tanks and the level of colorant in each tank. These must be manually updated as we fill them. Before doing anything, we must purge the machine to ensure there is no dried or settled out colorant in the dispensing head. The dispensing head should be damp with solvent but not saturated, or solvent can contaminate the colorants. This cap should be left on overnight and when the machine is not in use to prevent the dispensing head from drying up. Click the purge button on the right hand side to begin a purge. Now we select the tank we wish to fill. Here are the tanks which hold the colorants. They come in various different sizes such as 40 litre, 9 litre and 3 litre depending on the size of your machine. On this machine we are using 9 litre colorant tanks. It's important that the tanks are always filled with colorants because if one runs out, the colour you are making will be incorrect and it can be difficult to get colorants back through the tubes and get the paint recirculating. To prevent this from happening, we usually recommend you fill the tanks and tell the driver software there is actually less colorant in the tank than there really is. We are going to add 4 litres of colorant to the tank, so we are going to tell the driver software we have added 3.5 litres of colorant. In the box which says level, we add 3.5 litres to this number and manually input the amount of colorant. Because some tanks are dual depending on the specification of your machine, we recommend filling both tanks to the same level to avoid complications like one tank running out mid-dispense. The next important step is ensuring that your machine is calibrated and dispensing the correct amount of colorant. Using the driver software, we can select the calibration tab. On this tab, we can see automatic calibration, manual calibration, a test button, and a box at the bottom which gives the test results. We need to make sure the scales are connected to the machine and switched on so we can test the calibration of the tanks. The machine has 2 dispensing speeds, high and low. If we put 100 grams into the test box and click the test button, it will dispense 100 grams of colorant at high speed. After it's finished, the amount the machine actually dispensed will appear in the weighted box, along with the percentage of error in the error box. Now if we put 5 grams into the test box and click the test button, it will dispense 5 grams of colorant at low speed. Usually, we tolerate anything less than 1% error. However, if the error is greater than 1%, we recommend a recalibration on this tank. If you wish to calibrate a tank, make sure the scales are connected. Select the tank in question and click Automatic Calibration. The computer will calibrate automatically and it usually takes around 2 minutes to complete its calibration. If we don't have a set of scales with an interface, we have to do a manual calibration. This calibration is virtually the same, only we have to zero the scales and input the amount of colorant into the computer. The last tab allows us to turn on the pump motors and the shaker motors. This is to circulate the colorants to prevent settlement within the tanks and tubes. Circulation of the small canisters is automatic. However, we recommend turning these on when filling tanks. The large 40-litre tanks must be turned on manually for 15 to 30 minutes twice a day. Once all our levels are full and all our tanks are properly calibrated, we are ready to start dispensing colours from the machine. The Colour Match 2004 software holds all the unit formulations and allows us to dispense these colours from the machine. To load the Colour Match 2004 software, click the Colour Match 2004 icon on the desktop. Upon doing this, we are presented with the main menu. We want to click on Colour Formulations to access all various colours. First, we need to select the paint system. Since we are using the Unit paint system, select Unit Standard from the drop-down menu. Let's say, for example, we are searching for the colour RAL 5002, Metroline Blue. In the manufacturer box we type RAL, and in the manufacturer code box we type 5002. Now we click the search button and it will show us all matching formulations. To select the formulation, double-click it. This will bring up a list of all the colorants in this colour. On the right-hand side there is a quantity box. If you wish to dispense into a 5-litre base, manually input the number 5 into this box. On the left-hand side there is a system box which says 20% colorant. This means it will dispense 20% of 5 litres. Depending on which base you are using depends on the level of colorant you need to dispense. Standard 1-pack paint uses 10% colorant and 2-pack paints use 20% colorant. Make sure this is set to the right level to prevent overfill. Once we have input the quantity and level of colorant, we can now click Dispense. Upon clicking Dispense, the driver software will pop up. Select the number of tins to be dispensed using the counter box, then click the green tick to dispense the colour. Possible reasons for the machine not dispensing are: the machine is not switched on with the button on the tower, the door on the side of the machine is not closed properly, the colorant levels are too low, there is no tin in front of the machine, the emergency stop button is pushed in, the cap is still over the dispensing head, or sometimes due to bugs in the driver software. If a dispense fails, we recommend closing down the driver, checking the machine is properly switched on and that the emergency stop button is not pushed in, then restarting the driver software. Adding a new colorant. For adding a new colorant, we recommend contacting the supplier or manufacturer for proper guidelines on doing so. Changing filters. Remember to check the filters every month. This control must be even more frequent for the colours you use the most and for the ones most subject to impurities. The filter is located under each canister in the discharge circuit. It's the one starting from the canister and arriving at the pump with a bigger diameter. To change the filter, follow these steps. Be sure the supply of colorant is turned off. Close the cock located at the outlet of the canister in the discharge circuit. The cock is closed if it is perpendicular to the pipe. Unscrew the hexagonal plug. The best way of doing this is by gripping the upwards pipe with mole grips and using a 21mm socket to unscrew the hexagonal plug. Take out the filter. It has a cylindrical shape, and clean it or change it. Finally, mount everything again. After every cleaning of the filter, we recommend turning the pumps on for 15 minutes and making a calibration of the relevant circuit. Adjustment of seal tightness. Any possible paint leakage can be avoided by using the seal holder to put pressure on the seal. To get to the seal holder, push up the pinion and remove the pin. The pinion will come loose with the spring and pin. Next, we tighten the 3 screws evenly by rotating them 1/4 of a full turn at a time, then put the pinion back into place.